I have used some Post-it note to block off my flower image, and I'm going to go in first with a light color leaf, and I'm using a stamping platform to make sure I've positioned everything correctly, as well as being able to re-ink if I need to, and that looks really nice. And so I am just going to now double up on this leaf here, like so. I got it the wrong way. Okay, and then I'm going to go in again, and I'm using Vicky Bouton's color wheel in this kind of pastel green. And then I'm going to put this back on my color wheel. I find these, the colors are great, but I do find them a little messy in that taking them in and out of the color wheel, I tend to get them on my hands. So I don't know what your experience with them is, but that's kind of what I am finding out using them. So now I'm going to go in with a darker green and go over that leaf, and that pretty much covers everything, doesn't it? All right, one more Post-it note of protection here on that leaf so that the other one is kind of behind it. And I'm glad I didn't go with a darker green for the top color, because this is definitely dark enough. All right, now I'm trying to put this back in the color wheel slot. All right, so let's lift up our Post-it notes and see how well we did, what that looks like. That is looking really nice. Now this stamp set has a couple of other options here, which we might go in and do on and around to fill in some of the spaces. So what if we just kind of go in and now add some more color. These are my options here, so I'm going to go with this light green and see how that looks. With the platform, if I don't like it, I can always stamp over it. But I think that looks nice. And then I can just continue to move this one around and add some. And since I'm using the same color, I don't even have to clean it off when it touches where I'm going to place it next. That's fine. And I think, do I want to throw one in up here? I might have to move this magnet out of the way and put it down here. And then let's drop this in here. Got my stamped set in the way a little bit. So I like that. I like that a lot. I think the bottom leaf, or the bottom flower, needs a leaf. So I'm going to come back in here, move this over, and I think we'll go back with our post-it technique here. Block off a little bit. Alright, I think we can just do a leaf going off to the side there. Take this little guy off. And I'm just going to stick with the same colors here for the leaves, since it's the same flower. But we could go in and change it up. We do have some other colors, right? Okay. That. All right, now let's take a look at how we're doing here. Not bad. I think we might need to add in some dots or some kind of berry-like look. Trying to decide what color that would be. And if I would use a stamp or what I would use to make that dot happen. So I pulled out the other color wheel, and you can see that this one right here is pretty similar to that flower. So I'm just going to go in and pick some of that color up with my cotton swab. And let's see what it looks like if we give this some polka dots. Not necessarily realistic, but cute and playful. I really like the look of that. We could go in with a lighter color if we wanted to. I have a lighter pink. I think it might just add a little too much. We could go in and stamp the center of the flowers. Kind of curious as to what that would look like. So if we were to do our little tester here, if we went in to the center with some light pink, that's not bad. So I'm going to ink up my cotton swab, and then I'm just going to go in and touch the center here. Make it more flower-like. Yeah. Okay, so now all we need is a sentiment. So before I find a sentiment, I'm going to take my ink and go around the edge and just give this a finished pink edge as a container. I think that really finishes off the look. There.